There was a time, not that long ago, that smartphones weren't really a thing. Everybody had a cell phone of some kind, especially if you were in sales, but they were generally a flip phone and they were made just for phone calls. I was one of those few salespeople that tried to stay up with technology, and I had a software system that I had purchased called ACT. There was a CRM, which stands for Customer Relationship Manager. Now, this was the most important tool that I owned because I kept all of my customers' data in there so that I would know what they did the last time, and I would have all the pertinent information to be able to help them and serve them in the way that would be best when they came in to purchase from me again or if they called me on the phone. The only problem was I was attached to my computer at my desk. Well, when Palm Pilots came out, it was game on. Now I was able to keep all my contacts with me and I could access them on the go. Anywhere I was, I could pull out my trusty Palm Pilot and pull up the data that I needed to be able to answer the questions for my clients. Now, all I had to do to get this data and to keep it synced together was had to take the Palm Pilot and I had to put it in its cradle next to my computer. I hit the button that said sync, and well, within about 5 minutes or so, everything would be synced with ACT on my PC and on my trusty PDA, Personal Digital Assistant, my Palm Pilot. Well, let me fast forward you to the morning of October 10th, 2001. It was a crazy day for me. I didn't know it at the time, but it was going to turn out to be one of the more important days of my life. Times were tough at the dealership because, well, 9/11 had just happened a month earlier, and frankly, the world was reeling. My wife was 9 months pregnant and was due any day. I had to sell as much as I could before the baby came because things were frankly pretty tight. Just as I walked in the door on that day, the owner of the dealer group called me and asked me to help with one of his friends. As he asked for information about their purchase, I pulled out my trusty PDA so I could give him the rundown. I had it right there with me. Now, I had a case on my belt for this device, and I had unsheathed it many times in a hurry, but this time was different. As I pulled it out of the case, I lost my grip, and it went flying across the room. It was like one of those annoying Bounty paper towel commercials where everything was in slow motion. I was like, no! The PDA hit the edge of the desk and bounced to the floor. As I approached my trusty friend with all of the information that I needed, I could see that his face was smashed. My heart sank, quite frankly. Not only was he a good assistant, he was really expensive. Just then, I got a call from my wife that it was time. Well, everything else had to wait. I called the owner and told him what was going on, and off to the hospital I went to eventually greet my new son. You know, sometimes in life, things don't always go the right way. When I dropped my Palm Pilot and I wasn't going to be able to answer the questions the owner was asking, I was stressed out. Anxiety filled my body and I didn't know what to do. Have you ever been in a situation like this? Ironically, it took something more important and scary to calm me down and know that everything was going to be okay. As I look back over that time, I realize that sometimes things that I think are important in the moment are really just a speed bump in a parking garage. My son was born on the 11th, and both he and my wife are still happy and healthy to this day. Palm replaced my PDA for a fraction of the cost under a warranty that I didn't know I had. And the owner's friend waited 3 days to pick up their new car because they wanted to deal with me. The tragedy was over, and now it is just a page in history. So I have a question for you today. What are you worried about?